Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, dish out on the movies. And today we are watching the next episode, episode 8 of American Horror Story, Indelicate.
Delicate.
Delicate, I don't know why I keep saying indelicate. But anyway, the title of the story is Little Gold Man. And, I saw that a long time ago because they had like a few upcoming episodes just saying what's coming up next. And they just have like the titles and a little bit of an explanation. I'm like, what are they talking about? But of course, they're referring to the Oscar, which is a little gold man. So I just thought that sounded very Kim Kardashian to me, calling it that. So we have, after like, and this is the way, I've started reading the book again, and of course, from what I hear, this show does not follow the book, it just takes some things out of it. Basically, though, Marco and I would agree that this show, this season, takes more from Rosemary's Baby than it does from the book. Because the book isn't an evil thing. There's not evil things going. There's more evil things going on in this show.
Well, how do you know, Matt? You haven't finished the book.
Because I told you there are other people who've read the book have talked about it.
Oh.
And I've seen that. I'm like, huh. And I've been reading it. It's just so boring. God, it's the worst book ever. And I'm sorry, but I don't like it. And I read all the time, reading another book, and I just don't care for it at all. I'm able to read all kinds of books. I read children's books. I've read Goosebumps books. We've reviewed them, and this book is just boring. So, the only thing I can think of is if you're a young mother and you have trouble having children and you want IVF, and now we have this thing about IVF, and it may be a problem down the line because of this abortion issue.
Why are you talking about that?
Well, I'm just saying that you might be more interested in the book than me. I just don't care for it. So anyway, this episode had a lot of, they tied some loose ends together, I would say. And it's a little bit shocking. A couple of things were shocking, I think. And then another thing that was shocking, it happened right off the bat. And do you want to talk about it, Marco?
Well, this episode was very simple. It was basically, I guess you could split it up into 3 main parts.
Yeah.
3 or 4. Mm-hmm. The first part was to do with Mia Farrow, Frank Sinatra, and her filming Rosemary's Baby.
Which is bizarre.
And basically, they kind of made it seem like Mia Farrow was having her own Rosemary's Baby story going on.
Yeah.
Where Frank Sinatra was the evil husband, and he was trying to make her stop being in the movie, and I guess, I know that they did break up at that time, or they did get divorced at that time, but then they have it to where she's on set, and you have a couple of queer cameos that were really terrible and cringeworthy, and then they showed her filming a scene, and then she starts to, have something happen with her baby, and
because she is pregnant, I guess.
Yeah.
For real.
Was she?
That's what...
I can't remember.
That's what somebody said.
Well, so then she goes into her dressing room, she's having a problem, and all of a sudden Kim Kardashian comes in.
Well, she's outside the door. But you can
but
hear
wait,
her voice.
I said she comes in, so that we already know she's outside the door because I said she comes in. How else could she not come in if she's outside the door?
She talks to her through the door first.
But she comes in.
But you don't see her until she opens the door.
She comes in.
And there she is.
She comes in.
Dressed in a different outfit, different hairdo. But you know it's her.
And I was thinking, like, yeah, there's no way someone as ugly as that bitch would be back in that time period. Like, she would stick out like an alien. Everyone would go, ew, what the fuck is that?
Well,
Is that an alien? And then they'd shoot it, because it's like, what the fuck is that thing right there? Like, they would be really freaked out. You got Mia Farrow, you got all these other people on set who look how they look, and then you have Kim Kardashian, just looks like a pile of shit. And, like, yeah, she would really stick out. So that was really, like, unrealistic to me. There's no way that someone as ugly as her would be back then.
Well, and it's supposed to be 1967 in Manhattan. And I thought the girl who played Mia Farrow, her short haircut looked nice. I did not like Mia Farrow's in that movie, that haircut. I hated it. She was trying to be like Twiggy. We brought this up in another review, who was a model at that time from England. And she had this butched, it's just totally chopped off haircut. And she was a model, and she was so skinny. And so Mia Farrow decides to get that haircut. And it kind of went into, in fact, they played it into the movie as part of the story. But anyway, the girl who played her in this show, actually, I like her hair looked better. It was a little bit longer. It wasn't so chopped off. And anyway, I just wanted to say that.
Well,
and
so
who played Frank Sinatra? He seemed really familiar.
I don't know.
He had he sounded familiar. Anyway.
Well, so anyways, that whole segment or sequence, I thought it was stupid. I didn't like it at all.
Well, I didn't either. I thought there were two things wrong with it. One, why are they reminding people that they're taking a lot of stuff from Rosemary's Baby, a lot of plot points, and kind of putting them in here instead of the book, which I would say probably not that many people have read the book. So they're taking more plot points from that story than they are the book, the actual book that it's named after. And the other thing, I was like, what the hell does this have to do with the story? Anyway.
Well, I guess they're just showing that it even happened on Rosemary's Baby, the whole plot where they're making the women get pregnant and there's a bad male partner. I don't know, like it was really dumb.
Yeah.
It felt like a desperate attempt to make viewers go like, "Oh my god! It's oh!" It just felt like bait. Please like this show. Even though it sucked the whole season, nothing has happened of note. It's like, oh look, it's these people that you know. Like, yeah, I really don't care. Like, that doesn't make this a good show. Like, it was really stupid, too, because, like, this episode is only 30-something minutes long. It's a short episode. And to spend, like, 10 minutes out of the 30-minute episode with characters that we haven't even met up to this point in the past over basically some nostalgia bait to bait the fans and bait people, it was a really poor decision to me. I mean, that really didn't accomplish anything for the episode except for, like, kind of insulting, insulting Mia Farrow, because I guess it kind of implies that then she worked with Kim Kardashian and she let her baby be sacrificed or whatever, and, like, I get that's the only thing that it accomplishes. It's complete rubbish, trash. Hated it. Thought it was dumb.
They're saying sacrificed. I mean, are they really saying sacrifice? Like they're going to get somebody's baby and kill it?
I guess so.
I don't know. Weird.
Well, so anyways, and then you had this whole big part where Emma Roberts is at this party or something.
It's an Oscar party for all the nominees.
And there's this woman who comes up to her I don't know who it is.
Her name is Kara.
Oh. Well, I don't remember her at all. She's blonde. I mean, all the women in the show kind of look the same except for Kim Kardashian. Like, all of them kind of blend together. You know, they look so bland and boring and like Los Angeles type of people. I really can't tell them apart at all. So, but she reveals to Emma Roberts that she has been the one doing all these different things, and they show little flashbacks, and it's like, oh, look, they're putting the puzzle together finally, and it's all kind of useless because basically there's just a stalker, a crazy stalker.
Well, she's the one. She is the stalker.
But she's not the witches, though. So it's just kind of like, who cares? There's a stalker.
But Dex gave her a key to the apartment.
Yeah.
So he's in on her doing all the things she's doing. Like she had to take these, I don't know what they were, something to do with the getting these, for this fertility treatment. She had to keep whatever it was refrigerated, and it was taken out. And there was some kind of problem with that. There was writing on the mirror with a lipstick, and it was on Emma's clothes, and you saw her in the bed bothering Emma. She's wearing a big cloak and a hood. All that was this woman. And she got in the apartment because Dex is having an affair with her.
Yeah, they had a really bad sex scene that you could tell was made with the help of you-know-what and you-know-whats. And the reason why is because, now guys, I don't know who does this. I don't know why they're pushing this so much. It's so cringeworthy and so bad. It's really, like, irritating because it's like, they have all this bullshit about, like, oh, we have to protect the actors and we have to get their consent completely over everything. It's like, that you already got that because they signed up for the roles. They read the scripts. But, like, they say all that stuff and it's like, okay, let's pretend that these people come to set so that they can help protect actresses and protect actors. Let's just pretend that that's what they do, because that's not what they do at all. But you have this scene right here. This sex scene is probably in the running for one of the worst sex scenes I've ever seen. And this woman, this character, the crazy woman, she has all of her clothes on. You can see them. All of her clothes are on. And the guy is completely naked. Number one, that shows you once again the double standard in modern day Hollywood, where like, oh, we can have a naked man, but we can't have a naked woman. Oh no, that's way too graphic. We don't want male gaze to look at that. And so like, but this thing where like in these modern day sex scenes where these characters, where the woman, she keeps all her clothes on and then the guy gets naked and that's how people have sex. It's stupid and dumb, and it's so like insulting that like they could do this and that people would accept that and say like, yeah, I'm so glad that actors are being protected, like, but like not really, like, because honestly, this just makes me think that actress like had some sort of an issue. And but it probably not, because we see so many scenes nowadays where, the woman has all her clothes on and the man is naked. And like, why did they do that? Safi? Isn't that weird?
I was just shocked at the whole thing. Her husband seems so, and I was wondering if he's under some kind of spell.
He's under a sex spell?
I don't know what kind. It was so, I couldn't believe it that he was so bad. And I'm like, does he really know what he's doing? I mean, that sounds really naive and
Does he know
queer.
what he's doing?
But I mean, he's been such a piece of cardboard.
Yeah.
With no emotion and nothing going on except monotone answers and a monotone part where he's just not doing much of anything, like to help her or anything. And I'm wondering if he even knows, because remember when they show that scene where, you know, his wife, the other wife who died in the restaurant fire, you know, they had to erase his memories of what he saw there. And so I'm wondering, did they do something to where he would be not focused on his wife, so these witches could kind of focus on his wife and do what they needed to do, like Kim Kardashian, what she does in the next part, which we can talk about. I mean, I didn't know, and I just like to me it was like out of character.
Yeah.
And I just didn't get it.
Because it was so out of nowhere.
I mean, he gave her the key to their apartment.
Yeah.
And like, unless they didn't show this, but she works at the weird doctor's office.
And she knows all about what's going on, about
Yes.
babies being sacrificed. And now here's the thing, like, this story is supposed to be some feminist story. And in fact, Emma Roberts has still maintained that her flying is perfectly okay when she's this pregnant. Like, oh, there's nothing wrong with that. The doctor probably just said that so that he won't get sued, you know, because men, you know, they lie about everything, you know.
Well, no,
but there's reasons.
There's also they have liability insurance, and obstetricians, especially OBGYN, that's what I'm talking about. They have like one of the highest liability insurance coverage than any other profession, because it's so pregnancy, which anybody would tell you, especially ones that have miscarriages, it's very risky. Anything can happen, and guess who gets blamed? The obstetrician. So they do have, but it wouldn't matter because the airline won't let you fly. That's the thing.
But she somehow still flies.
I know.
Yeah.
But that's why I just wanted to make that clear. I mean, I've heard about this already years ago.
Well, but the thing is that this crazy woman, she says, yeah, I do. I've been a part of this plot the whole time. And Emma Roberts is like, how could you do something like that? This is just horrible. And the crazy woman says, I have student loans.
That was another thing. She said, how can you agree to do it? Because she says the doctor's going to do something to your baby. There's a whole bunch of women. You're in danger.
Yeah, I've been a part of it and helping them. And
she says, well, why are you continuing to work there knowing what you know? Because I have student loans and I need the money. And I'm like,
yeah, like that is
oh my God.
That's not a good thing in a feminist show, really. I mean, that's not a good female character. That doesn't make women look good. Right, Safi?
It just made her, it just was bizarre. That's why I said there's like 3, and Marco added 4 bizarre, weird parts to the show. And this is one of them. But at least the only thing I could say about it that I liked this part was the fact that she finally explained all of these things. Like, remember her calendar was messed up and she was supposed to be there an hour earlier, and the girl even got into her account. That's why I say her husband was allowing this girl to do all this. And like, really? Would he really do that? Or is he under some kind of spell? And she changed that. She wrote on the mirror. She did all of this stuff. They showed everything. Kept the stuff, the whatever, the medical treatments or whatever outside. It was supposed to be refrigerated, and she put it on the counter, making it look like Emma did it. And just all this stuff. So at least that was explained, how that happened. That really did happen physically. by some human being who was allowed to get into the apartment by the husband, which was weird. And when she found out all this, she told her husband to get the fuck out of there. He's like, what?
Yeah.
Cardboard, what?
Yeah, I do not like him at all.
I hate him.
I think that maybe I would have commented on the bad acting from some of these actresses if he wasn't so terrible. Because, like, his bad acting and his character is just, like, the worst thing ever. It kind of overshadows everything except for Kim Kardashian.
Ugh.
And, well, then there's this part. Now, this part was really bad. Emma Roberts, all of a sudden, she wakes up and her legs are black.
I don't know what that was.
And it's like there's scales on her legs, and she's turning into a creature or something. And this is like a Bone Chillers episode, maybe.
It's like a jet black fabric that's sewn tightly with very tight stitches.
So she runs to the bathroom and she's like, ah! Oh no! Oh no! That's what she sounds like, right, Safi?
Yeah.
And then Kim Kardashian walks in and she says, oh my god, are you taking a shit? And then she starts the scene. I mean, I swear the people who made this season, they have like an obsession with Emma Roberts going to the bathroom. Because you remember, in the first half of the season, they have multiple scenes where you saw Emma Roberts on the toilet. And now we have like a scene where Kim Kardashian is like, I won't even say like the things that she says, but like, basically, it's kind of like, remember Better Call Saul, where Jimmy was going to help that guy get a patent for his weird invention, and it was Tony the Toilet Buddy, and the Toilet Buddy would say, like, good job, Chandler! Wow! And he would say all these, like, hilarious things, and it was like a weird, like, sex toy type of thing, and, like, that's what Kim Kardashian started to do with Emma Roberts, and it was just such a bizarre sequence of, like, I never expected to see Kim Kardashian, like, coaching Emma Roberts through going to the bathroom. Like, it was so bizarre. I don't know why Safi didn't say that was a bizarre thing, because I thought, like...
There were multiple bizarre things.
But that part was number one, Safi. I mean, what was up with that?
I don't know. Maybe I just didn't want to think about it because it was so queer and stupid.
I won't even say the thing she said, but, like, it's so bad. It's like, you can't see that and take this show seriously. Like, I don't understand, like, if you watch that scene and still take this season and this show seriously, I don't know what to do with you, because, like, that's just ridiculous right there. Like, just imagine in The Shining if something like that happened. You know, you wouldn't be able to take it seriously again. You'd be like, okay, this is weird, and you turn it off. So, like, I really had a problem with that. I thought that was weird. And, you know, because they didn't have to do that. Like, Kim Kardashian, I don't know what they were doing with that.
Well, I don't like her. Sorry. I just don't.
And then they go to the Oscars, and Emma Roberts is being conflicted because she's like, you know, Kim Kardashian, you wouldn't really, like, lie to me ever or anything. You know, that's like a line of dialogue right there. And then Kim Kardashian is like, no, of course not, and I can barely talk because my lips are so huge. And then Emma Roberts says, well, I'm starting to put two and two together since there's one episode left. And, it seems like you might be the one doing bad things and that maybe you had that actress killed, the one who went up against me. And Kim Kardashian's like, oh my god, you think that I would be able to do something like that to you? And she's, what does she say? Like, oh yeah, You're reading way too many feminist thrillers. You need to switch to romantic comedies now. No more feminist thrillers for you. And then they get to the Oscars.
And it's them. It's because, remember, she broke up with her husband. So it's her and Kimmy K.
Yeah. And it gets to... And she's going into labor. She's having contractions. Or contractions.
Yeah,
I just said
is.
contraptions.
And, anybody who's ever had a baby, you can have contractions and it can take hours. Or you can have contractions and it's not going to take very long at all. I had kind of both experiences. So anyway, my husband's sister-in-law had like a 48-hour contraction time. So I mean, it varies. Everybody's different, but you go in the Oscars and you're having contractions and they're really like long and like painful, then you're probably going to have the baby pretty soon. And,
yeah.
Kim doesn't want her to do anything.
And she says, let's wait until your category, and then we can go to the hospital.
And that category, Best Actress, that doesn't happen right away, I don't think. I think it's supporting.
It's near the end.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're waiting a while.
And they just kind of jump forward. Like, it's been really easy for her to just sit there and wait the whole time.
I mean, she's in severe pain.
Yeah.
Which means she's probably far along.
But then, all of a sudden, Kim Kardashian throws a wrench into everything. And because this is right when she's about to win. Or not win. And Kimmy K says, let's say, would you give up anything for an Oscar? Anything? And she points to her belly, and for some reason Emma Roberts nods, and she says yes, and so basically she agrees to give her baby away to these evil witches out of nowhere with no sort of actual motivation. Like, what's the motivation behind her seriously saying, like, oh, well, it's perfectly fine for me to win an Oscar so that I can give this human baby away? Like, it's just so bizarre and stupid, and it doesn't make any sense. It's completely out of nowhere, and it makes her character really unlikable, because, like, why would you want someone like her to succeed after she would give her baby away for an Oscar? Like, that's fucking retarded. And so she wins.
And see, that doesn't make sense. That completely even contradicts the book, because people who get IVF, and I hope I'm saying it right, they're on their last attempt at having a baby of their own. And it's a painful process. There's a lot to it. They go through it in the show, what they have to do. It's it's a sketch, I would say, of the process. But they spend a lot of money, and it might take like 2 or 3 times or something. And it's not easy, and it's because these people really want a baby. And so, it's an option. And so to just so easily give that up for an Oscar?
After having a miscarriage before, too, after having a history of miscarriage and having all this trouble and all this stuff, it's like,
doesn't make sense.
Whatever, I don't want a baby anymore. Feminism. Like,
that just doesn't make sense.
I don't even think Taylor Swift would do that. And Taylor Swift is the devil, so
no, she's
that's
not.
pretty bad.
No, she's not.
Like
she would never do that either. I mean, I don't know anybody. I just think that was bizarre. But I mean, this is American Horror Story, so it's a horror, right?
But that's stupid. It's like, why would she have to agree anyway? Like, if these witches are so evil, why wouldn't they just take her baby anyway? Because they're so evil.
I know. I agree.
Like, did the people in Rosemary's Baby ask Rosemary if she'd be okay with them putting the devil's you-know-what in her? No, they just did it because they're evil. But the people in this show, they ask her first, and they put her on the spot. She says yes, and But
Yeah,
at least she won't ever have to say she's sorry, right, Safi?
Yes,
Because
love is never having to say you're sorry.
yeah, so she'll never have to say sorry for that, and I think that's pretty weird.
And what another weird thing is Emma and Kimmy K, they kiss at when it's announced that she wins the Oscar. They kiss in the audience.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that because I wasn't paying attention.
Well, I did, and that's just unbelievably weird, stupid.
Yeah, that had no reasoning either except for marketing purposes. Like, oh, Kim Kardashian and Emma Roberts kissed.
Blah,
Gross.
blah.
I mean, I don't know which would be worse, like kissing Kim Kardashian or kissing Emma Roberts. Like, either way, I'd probably have to shoot myself afterwards. Or
No.
write a song like Taylor Swift called Your Lips Make Me Want to Throw Up. Kim Kardashian. Because they're fake. They're phony. Like you.
Well,
Right,
anyway,
Safi?
so it was good in that they tied up some loose ends. that was the one, and then but
Like a
all these-
little tiny good thing.
and they did have the funeral of the mother, Dex's mother, and the weird he was giving Dex was actually up at the front giving a eulogy.
And he still had no emotion at all.
No, and then in the middle of it, that weird older woman who knows about it all gets up there and says, I warned you. And she said, you better listen to your wife. And of course they had some security and they had to grab her and take her away. And they took her to the ER. And Emma went to visit her. And then, didn't she warn her again or something?
Yeah, she warned her again.
And actually Emma said, I guess I should have listened to you.
Then Emma fell asleep, and the old woman was taken away by some nice women.
Yeah, a nice group of women.
They're nice women.
That's what
and
the
like,
nurse said.
who the hell would ever describe Kim Kardashian as a nice woman? Like, number one, obviously not nice, as you would know. Number two, she's not really a woman. That's for damn sure. Like, she's like an alien monster. Hybrid.
Whatever. So this is really, we basically told you everything that's happened. So what does this set up to be? Well, she's going to have the baby, and the witches are going to get it.
And then Emma Roberts is going to go, wah. And I'm going to be
Shouldn't have
like,
done that.
oh, well, you shouldn't have agreed to these witches, and you should have said, fuck you. So fuck you, Emma Roberts. I don't care anymore. Like, now there's nothing to be invested in at all, because it's like, why would you even care if she had her baby or didn't at the end of the show? Like, if anything, the biggest thing is like, well, I'd like to see like maybe the son finding out the bad stuff that's been going on, and maybe him making a change and helping her out or something. Like, that's the only thing maybe, but like still don't really care very much at all. So this show has really gone downhill, and I think it's because they made the mistake of not telling their own original story. And
because they're borrowing from the book, which basically, that whole thing in the beginning, just about the process, that's in the book. And also the person who's stalking her, that's in the book. But it's it just lays out what's happening, which, the woman tells about. I haven't reached that part in the book, but anyway, and then they borrow from Rosemary's Baby. So there's really, what's the original part?
I don't know.
I don't see it.
Kim Kardashian.
And then
Like, it was a very original idea to think, like, yeah, let's put her in something and let her act, quote unquote. Like, that was original. No one would ever think of that because it's stupid. Be a stupid thing to do. Right? Right?
whatever. But and then the husband. I mean, what's going to happen last episode? I just asked. And then what's going to happen with the husband? He's gone forever. He's disappeared from her life.
No, I don't think so.
From his spell.
He has to have like a realization, and then maybe he tries to help fix things, and then maybe I don't know. I don't even care. Like,
what about the father-in-law?
Why should I care?
He's a part of it. They have a big ceremony. And he's at the end, he's got a knife, and they're going to kill the baby that she had, or it's the baby looks like the devil, you know, it's a demon with the tail and everything, and claws. I mean, you know, they didn't do this in Rosemary's Baby. They never showed the baby.
Yeah, they did.
No, they did not.
They showed its eyes.
Yeah, they didn't show anything else, though. And, I mean, what's going to happen? I just can't wait. Not. I'll try to finish the book, but like I said, I don't think the book, from what I hear, it's a book for good. Because the woman wants to really wants to have a baby, and in the book it wouldn't be that she would rather have the Oscar and not the baby after going through all that.
Yeah.
And like it runs so contradictory towards women anyway, who that's their last best hope of having their own baby.
That's pretty bad. Like, that's really weird.
Just never.
It is a very feminist message, though, of like, you know, screw children and screw, you know, fulfilling the gender role that you're supposed to fulfill. You should just go get your Oscar. You know, that's a very feminist message.
And, you know, I have read, too, that, I don't know what the percentage is, but people who get Oscars, they don't necessarily get more successful after winning one.
No.
And it does help some people, but I think that's more on the minimal side.
You just look at Steve Carell from The Office, or maybe Monk, where he's never won any Oscars, but he won a lot of awards playing Monk, and like he's pretty legendary for playing that character for all those years, and you know, he never needed an Oscar, but she does, of course, because she has to become ultra feminist, ultra girl boss.
I don't know. That just doesn't.
So I would give the episode another FU. I mean, there's just nothing to like. There's nothing to grasp onto except for like, wow, I really didn't need a sequence where Kim Kardashian becomes Tony the Toilet Buddy. Safi, what would you have to give this episode? Did you like that?
I guess I would give it a C because
God!
Because they tied together some loose ends and they still and it showed that the husband was really terrible. I mean, all along, I mean, like I said, he was cardboard, but he was a nice piece of cardboard. He wasn't an evil piece of cardboard.
But I would take him. I would take him having a really bad affair over a group of women who are literally killing babies and sacrificing them.
Well, did he start having the affair when she started getting the IVF treatments?
I don't know. They didn't say.
Yeah, I know. So you don't even know, were they, between the time that he lost his first wife, she died, and the time he gets married to Emma, did he meet that woman before meeting Emma? Or did he meet her after she started getting the IVF treatments? Because the woman wanted to be Emma. She said, I wanted to be just like you. I wanted to have your whole life. I wanted to do everything you did and have everything you have and take away what you have. So, I don't know. It's just a very bad time. Very, very bad episode. I'm giving it a C for that. I just said.
Well, I'll also ask this: don't you agree that this season is easily the worst season of the series? Because like, some people said like, how could you rank the seasons without finishing this season? And I'm like, well, it's not going to get any better. If anything, it's going to get worse. So, and I was right. It's like I wouldn't raise this up any higher now that I've seen any more episodes. So,
what was the name of the episode where Evan played the? He wanted to be like the
cult
emperor?
leader.
Yeah.
Cult.
Well,
but that was a lot better than this.
Well, yeah, but the thing about that one, that was like getting a pie thrown in your face every minute. It was just like really like.
Well, but that
slamming your head into the wall.
But that was doing it on purpose. Every episode, they were trying to do something more and more terrible each episode. So there was a purpose to that, and then there was, of course, an agenda that came through near the end. But this is just like. I don't know what they were thinking with this season. I blame Ryan Murphy because I think Ryan Murphy has too many shows. He spread himself way too thin, and there's no focus on the show to make it great anymore. It's just like...
Well, he's left it all to this woman director and then the book that they took it from. And then, I mean, how could he take... I mean, they say, they advertise it. They take some of this from the book, which is really just the basic part, but they took a lot more from Rosemary's Baby. I mean, how can he be okay with that?
I guess he just doesn't care anymore.
Oh.
And I think it's a mistake because I think once American Horror Story falls, all of his other shows fall, because American Horror Story is the granddaddy. American Horror Story is the titular show. I mean, it's such a great thing. Like, every year, every other year, there's a new American Horror Story. There's a new horror season. It's an anthology. You got these great actors sometimes. And it's so much fun. And he's ruined that by, like, not taking it seriously. Like last year where he was like, oh, let's just have Dahmer runoffs. Like, I really liked filming those sequences in the bars and the gay nightclubs. So let's just do that, but kind of make it a story about AIDS, too. And, like, he's really screwed his own show.
Well, they could have done a lot more with that. That, to me, that was like a pet project.
Yeah.
Like something that you always wanted to do. But you said, he was really more invested in the Dahmer show.
Yeah, and you could feel like the way that they did the Dahmer show, they filmed stuff for the American Horror Show. And so it was like, oh, it's because he was so obsessed with Dahmer that American Horror fell into last place in terms of his priorities.
Yeah, and it's a shame because, when we went to do research in Bukoba, Tanzania, they were having, right about the same time, the AIDS epidemic there. In fact, it wiped out a lot of their adult population, and a lot of orphans. So if they're the body of that part of the country, and part of Uganda, part of probably Rwanda, and I mean, it made a big difference on the population. I mean, this was an important time, but it was kind of like a superficial thing. And remember, the only supernatural thing, which, like in this one, it's witches, but it was this tarot card thing.
Well, it was also that leather man, and then the leather man turned out to be nothing. He just turned out to be the Grim Reaper. And I was like, that was such a wasted opportunity right there. Like, it could have been so many things, and it was just, oh, it's the Grim Reaper. Like, wow, that's really fun. Not. So anyways, we're done talking about this episode.
So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And become one of our subscribers and tell us if you're watching it and what you thought.
If you ever need help going to the bathroom, you can turn on this episode and you can listen to Kim Kardashian, and she'll help you. Right, Safi?
And so, what do you think's going to happen the last episode?
Like, if you're constipated and you're really having a hard time, like, just put on this episode, and Kim Kardashian will help you.
Yeah. So anyway, goodbye, everybody.
Bye.